no fa nempa emra no men yesika no CD no ne dollar no e cost rododo na ye 4 CD so and MPP 4 year who de sa ena nyame ncha de nyame se almost beje anya nyenhwe and na would ye busa businessman bia omedwuma egu busa Ashanti businessman bia na edwuma egu ezu omokra nyoma omuntimi yi no temaport and na nipa bebre omokra nyoma omode fa Lome port na omode articulator call Togo no makotwe nyoma naba if you say etoa Dr. Bambiaka said we are going from taxation to production. I think na etoa no mpo abedoso mrebia na ohwe enjuma omegu anka ebe emabunu no enya ejuma ya edoso dodo microfinance companies bako almost 200 and omegu no nipa na omo ye ejuma ho ena omo nyina ebi kat Uber ebi totopa no ezu Osha banks 11 banks omugu ye nipa 10,000 and omo hwere omo ejuma enti sa nipa yi kwatere kwa oba na okache o se oba ama emabuna ejuma mujinidi
me betina kodiya no so a meye ejuma na obia ehu mfaso a ebeba so.
And there are many policies or works that are not completed yet, and I know that when I come into power I will do these works to make sure that everyone is happy.
Mrabe miwa ewa parliament sisi a minim se eda therefore akoma so eno so da makoma so the dekan ye LGBTQ law yenyen signing no ene de me ba me sign no temtem
Bill on the LGBTQ, when I come to power I will sign it without hesitation.
The Tosimienu
and the second thing,
anti-witchcraft bill.
That is the anti-witchcraft bill. And when I come to power, I will endorse the anti-witchcraft bill. Yes.
And also the Makuma Super. And therefore Akuma so. And
that is also of great importance to me. And I believe it's of great value to my father, so I agree with him on this issue.
Adumarako, Philadelphia.
Adese kron.
Mesdames et
Mendanyesi.
Enet eye nijeda.
Mene ejimri segbi.
Na mepese.
Simasumuake.
Meda nyami nipa.
Mada nyungbomo.
Ase.
Madalesi
ene awa tu
kehigbene ngo ehami
soronkronkra odemame abra mitia Philadelphia asasi so
awa tu slot ko ne kehami bia bedi ke na ne ma Philadelphia shiko ne no
ente mechia me papa
ewo me ngame papa
adomche ene asori empenyimfo nyina
Stephen adomche dia ke asafo no kwa ife
emrebi misuma nipa
be ko nchu gbeme nkume
eba ha
ke babie
ebejina amanemu
ne amebada mo menajia
ede menchi amano
ke na mekenga mo hale
na sa nipa na omo san ba ye no
ne na kan gbeme bemri be na mekuse ke ba
nyame nipa se odamase
nyongogbo mo ke edamishi
na onim se
si ele ake
edebi beba
biko baba
mi ankasa me de me nan beba be
yes ni me bi anche kana ni baba ma si ane
enti yese nyame mre ni mrepa
hewo aka nyungo be ji be papa
achecha wona afi
ga echeta aka me eyewe afi
sada na nyame nipa kan no
na kan gbele ni nyungbo mo wie
eno na edru hon ne
no ti no ni esemene ni
na ade ba ko a medibu
Abotre. Yes.
ade baako a ɛkyerɛ sɛ yaba nyame fie
No comedy to akawa banyumosia.
ɛne nsuo yi a yɛnnim beebi efiri a ɛɛtɔ yi
Can bonen wale ne jani no ne.
ɛkyerɛ sɛ nyame ankasa ɛrehyira so
To akanyumodi jamne jono.
enti
No he wo.
mɛda mo nyinaa ase
Madanye feshi.
ade baako a mede abu nyame nipa adom kyɛn
No comedy kabu wache 7 adum chedia.
ɛne sɛ
Jiake.
asɔre bebree
Asafo baba o.
ɛyɛ ɔsɔfo
Osofo
ɛna ɔpɛ sɛ asɔre ma ɛde sika ɛbrɛ no
le
na meba ha ade baako a ɛma me wura hɔ yi
sinimi babia no comedy anime re ho.
ɛne sɛ ɛkwan a ɛba ha ɛnyɛ kura
No jiake gbani babia.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
enti
No he wo.
bɔhyɛ baako a mɛtumi ahyɛ mo
Si wo comedy manyama wonye jiake.
ɛne sɛ sɛ nyame yɛ adom
No jiake kaji nyumofe wo dromo.
na neɛ ɛda yɛ akoma so
Ni no ni kan wo twi no.
na ɔyɛ ma yɛ a
Kaji fe eha wo.
nyame adom nti
Nyumodromo he wo.
mɛsan ba church ha
Masa ma basole mo tune.
ɛyɛ kootaa so na mɛnante
Hallelujah. Philadelphia.
Yesu Kristo de mo hyɛw
Jesus.
kɔ na kɔfa wadanse
Hallelujah.
wɔ Yesu Kristo
Amen.
Amen.
adom no nti
Amen.
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 That is going to happen again this Saturday. I am appealing to all of you, the Electoral Commission, the security services, the government, have all made arrangements to make sure that everything goes peacefully and properly. I'm appealing to you to make sure that what happens here next Saturday is indeed peaceful, free, and fair. So that at the end of the day, on Saturday, all of us will agree that X, you know my X, the X is the one who we have all agreed should be our next president. But until then, I want to say once again that I am really, really grateful.
Why would any rational and reasonable IGP transfer a district commander from a district command to a quartermaster stores 8 days to an election? We all know the difficult terrain we have in Graboso constituency. You obviously need more than 8 days as a security couple to survey the system, to be able to lead your security personnel into such a crucial and a critical election such as 2024 elections. And so for me, I have come to a clear conclusion that anybody in this country who attempts to believe the IGP, Dr. Akufu Dampare, you do that at your own peril. He preaches as though he's an angel in the social media space for people to see him as white. But these are some of the things he's doing in the country. And I'm referring to what he has just done in the Dwaboso constituency or in the Dwaboso district. And for your information, the message came with a clear instruction that the transfer was to take effect from the same day the message came. So clearly, everybody, every bystander, a reasonable bystander, will be able to read a lot of meanings into it.
We know official elections for the king. Why is it that we know official elections for the king? Why are you sharing food to people in the queue? Why are you doing that? Why we can't share? We can share. If they want me to share, I also share the same. But let's respect the rules of the Electoral Commission. Don't share anything to the people in the queue who have not voted yet. And you are sharing food and we don't even know what is in the thing, and you are sharing it to the people who have not voted yet. What kind of stupidity is this? Why they think we can't do it? We can do the same and even worse. They shouldn't even try us.
Who does that?
The Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency remains one of the key constituencies where expectations are high as to who becomes the next parliamentary candidate for this constituency. The special voting process today at the Legon police station was largely peaceful until about few minutes into 12 midday, where the incumbent member of parliament for this constituency, Honorable Lydia Seiram Al-Hassan, was seen with a team distributing what is believed to be food items to some security officials who were in a queue to go and cast their votes. This created some tensions and confusions, with the NDC parliamentary candidate for the constituency, John Seto Dumelo, raising an alarm of this being unconstitutional.
Why are you sharing food to people in the queue? Why are you doing that? Why we can't share? We can share. If they want me to share, I also share the same. But let's respect the rules of the Electoral Commission. Don't share anything to the people in the queue who have not voted yet. And you are sharing food and we don't even know what is in the thing, and you are sharing it to the people who have not voted yet. What kind of stupidity is this?
However, the parliamentary candidate on the ticket of the NPP, Lydia Seiram Al-Hassan, has been speaking to the media, refuting claims that she was part of the team that was distributing food.
I wasn't here. I don't know if you saw me here. I've been here since I came here before 6 a.m. And I left here a few minutes ago. I don't even know what you're talking about. I am yet to find out from them what happened.
The voter turnout for this polling station was highly encouraged.
I am yet to find out from them what happened.
The voter turnout
here. I don't know if you saw me here. I've been here since I came here before 6 a.m.
Claims that she was part of the team that was distributing food.
I wasn't here. I don't know if you saw me here. I've been here since I came here before 6 a.m.
Lydia Seiram Al-Hassan has been speaking to the media, refuting claims that she was part of the team that was distributing food.
I wasn't here. I don't know if you saw me here. I've been here since I came here before 6 a.m. And I left.
She was part of the team that was distributing food.
I wasn't here. I don't know if you saw me here. I've been here since I came here before 6 a.m. And I left here a few minutes ago. I don't even know what you're talking about. I am yet to find out from them what happened.
That was distributing food.
I wasn't here. I don't know if you saw me here. I've been here since I came here before 6 a.m. And I left here a few minutes ago. I don't even know what you're talking about. I am yet to find out from them what happened.
And food.
I wasn't here. I don't know if you saw me here. I've been here since I came here before 6 a.m. And I left here a few minutes ago. I don't even know what you're talking about. I am yet to find out from them what happened.
We know officially the things for the king. Why it is that we know officially the things for the king?
What is happening with the food being shared?
Why are you sharing food to people in the queue? Why are you doing that? Why we can't share? We can share. If they want me to share, I also share the same. But let's respect the rules of the Electoral Commission. Don't share anything to the people in the queue who have not voted yet. And you are sharing food and we don't even know what is in the thing, and you are sharing it to the people who have not voted yet. What kind of stupidity is this? Why they think we can't do it? We can do the same and even worse. They shouldn't even try us.
Who does that?
We need money. What is the issue? Osman, what is the issue? Media. Media, bossman. What is the issue? Media, what is the issue? What is the issue?
I'm coming.
What is happening? Why do you think they are taking photos of their ballots?
And today the police in him, and now get to a banner. Now I was screenshotting. So if we screenshot the ballot paper, nobody got this scan, and I'm this scan, but and then you got to be able to Ghana has to a ban. There was no and we are long and not so we back to a ban with a client to me.
You can see within the town that escape and people moving freely to come and exercise their franchise on this special day. We are going to maintain this momentum, and going forward we are meeting all the parliamentary candidates in Bolga to ensure that we all agree to talk to our people and to allow people to come and exercise their franchise. We are also engaging the communities, and we want you, the media, to also give us information on anything in the field that you suspect can create a problem. But for now, I think the people are listening to our appeal to them to ensure peace during this particular period. I'm just going around the various constituencies on the same mission to ensure that we have peace throughout. But I can assure you, the drones are following them, and when we get culprits, we'll deal with them. A few that have been arrested have been put before court and they have been remanded. And we'll continue to maintain this momentum to sustain the security that we have. For Boko, you can't rule out a gunshot, but we are poised than ever to go after them.
In a nutshell,
a destroyer.
Who should Ghanaians vote for?
Of course, I'm an NDC man, and I think Ghanaians should vote for Bawumia if they think he has done well, but there is no evidence of his doing well. So the obvious choice is John Mahama. He laid the foundations, and he will continue to lay the foundations till we reset the economy.
Thank you very much.
You can see within the town. You can see within the town that escape and
in a nutshell,
a destroyer.
Who should Ghanaians vote for?
Of course, I'm an NDC man, and I think Ghanaians should vote for Bawumia if they think he has done well, but there is no evidence of his doing well. So the obvious choice is John Mahama. He laid the foundations, and he will continue to lay the foundations till we reset the economy.
Thank you very much.
Charlie, that's the back of the fly. Come and get the view. Oh, it seems like it's one-sided. Bro, right.
So we are currently at the regional police command in the eastern region of Florida, and the seal on one of the bags carrying ballot papers to be dispatched to Nkoko is broken. The seal, all 3 seals on the bag from Nkoko, all 3 seals are broken. Look at this bag, the seals are intact. Look at the other one, the seals are intact. Look at all the other bags. Why is this particular bag? Why is it that this particular bag all the seals are broken? We are not accepting for this bag to be transported to the constituency to be used for elections. The contents cannot be used. We will not accept it. The 3 seals cannot be broken. So we are currently at the regional police command in the eastern region of Florida, and the seal on one of the bags carrying ballot papers to be dispatched to Nkoko is broken. The seal, all 3 seals on the bag from Nkoko, all 3 seals are broken. Look at this bag, the seals are intact. Look at the other one, the seals are intact. Look at all the other bags. Why is this particular bag? Why is it that this particular bag all the seals are broken? We are not accepting for this bag to be transported to the constituency to be used for elections. The contents cannot be used. We will not accept it. The 3 seals cannot be broken. So we are currently at the regional police command in the eastern region of Florida, and the seal on one of the bags carrying ballot papers to be dispatched to Nkoko is broken. The seal, all 3 seals on the bag from Nkoko, all 3 seals are broken.
I am telling you here that I will only come in this 7th December within the Achimansa enclave. When police tells me that they cannot, and when I come, I will not talk. I will beat you and the hell with you. I always want people to try me. So those of us seated here, any of you can try me on that day, or try any of my men on that day. When you go to the polling station, just cast your vote, go home, go and sleep. Thank you. When it is 5 p.m., come. They will tell you where to stand. They will count for you. If you win, clap, go home.
The Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency remains one of the key constituencies where expectations are high as to who becomes the next parliamentary candidate for this constituency. The special voting process today at the Legon police station was largely peaceful until about few minutes into 12 midday, where the incumbent member of parliament for this constituency, Honorable Lydia Seyram Al-Hassan, was seen with a team distributing what is believed to be food items to some security officials who were in a queue to go and cast their votes. This created some tensions and confusions, with the NDC parliamentary candidates for the constituency, John Seto Dumelo, raising an alarm of this being unconstitutional.
Why are you sharing food to people in the queue? Why are you doing that? Why we can't share? We can share. If they want me to share, I also share the same. But let's respect the rules of the Electoral Commission. Don't share anything to the people in the queue who have not voted yet. And you are sharing food and we don't even know what is in the thing, and you are sharing it to the people who have not voted yet. What kind of stupidity is this?
However, the parliamentary candidate on the ticket of the NPP, Lydia Seyram Al-Hassan, has been speaking to the media, refuting claims that she was part of the team that was distributing food.
I wasn't here. I don't know if you saw me here. I've been here since I came here before 6 a.m. And I left here a few minutes ago. I don't even know what you're talking about. Yeah, I've been here since I came here before 6 a.m. And I left here a few minutes ago. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Has been speaking to the media, refuting claims that she was part of the team that was distributing food.
I wasn't here. I don't know if you saw me here. I've been here since I came here before 6 a.m. And I left here a few minutes ago. I don't even know what you're talking about.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our joy, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame.
If you reach a certain stage in life and there is nobody who can look you in the eye and tell you the truth, you are doomed. And that is where our country has gotten to. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. And I feel very terrible as a Ghanaian at this time. This country is in serious trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We are in serious trouble. We need to rescue this country, ladies and gentlemen. The presidency has been so depraved, so muddied, so dirtied, that I tell you in all sincerity as a Ghanaian, that I feel terribly sad today as a Ghanaian. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi, inshallah. Please don't cry. We shall rescue our country.
Government is broke, government is broke. The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
Right, hello, good morning and welcome to the show. This is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. It's a Wednesday, the 4th day of December 2024. By His grace, we're live and we're here. We're yet another edition of the show. Our gratitude to go to the Most High God for the rare privilege of being alive and, of course, the opportunity of having another conversation around the top stories making rounds here in our dear Republic. I'll let you into our panel for the morning's conversation shortly, but let's take a look at the front pages of our newspapers. Daily Graphic. 3 days to general election. Zero tolerance for violence. Security Task Force sounds warning. Economy strong. Will benefit all. Finance Minister. Shraj deploys 300 election observers. Students Loan Trust opens application portal for 2024-2025 academic year. EC cautions media against declaring election results. The Ghanaian Times. December 7 polls. Election Security Task Force talks tough. Declares zero tolerance for machoism. Uniformed non-state security personnel on election day. Economy remains on strong positive trajectory. Finance Minister. Establish sovereign legal system to prevent ICC intervention AG to African nations. EC clears journalists with accreditation to access constituency and regional collation centers. Daily Guide. December 7 polls. Macho men will be arrested. IGP. African countries need robust legal system. Dami. Baumia commissions E-Gates Akotoka. IMF approves $360 million for Ghana. Voting NDC will kill free SHS Amankwa. The New Crusading Guide. AG advocates for strengthened legal systems in Africa at ICC Assembly. NPP government will upgrade diplomat trainee, nurses and midwives. Land guards on rampage, using drip machines to destroy properties in Aibonte community. Dakwa Newman Shakes Okankwe South With Baumia's bold solution message, Doku unveils modern artisanal center. Judicial Service denies claims of disrupting cases with judges' transfers. Trifo Himan Lower Dentura PC lauded for fulfilling promise to his constituents. The insight. Towards enhancing electoral transparency in 2024 polls, coalition of CSOs outdoors poll watch app to tabulate results, boost citizens' monitoring role. State capture by Nanado. Is the bitch that bore June 4th pregnant again? That's a part 2. Ladma, GES, fingered in alleged sale of La Yehoshua School Park to private investor. Ghana needs urgent reset by Mahama. A rise for change edges over economic hardships imposed by Akufo-Addo Bawumia administration. Close down drinking spots on voting day. Sheikh Dr. Amin Bonsu appeals to government. The Informer. Dan Butchie jabs Mahama over unclear 24-hour economic policy. Prophet foretells Bawumia victory. Your testimony is ahead of you. General Mahama seeks comeback, but Akufo-Addo queries for what? Training nurses to be upgraded. Napo reveals. Election Security Task Force cracks down on machoism and impersonation. Forged last will and testament of the late Alhaji Salih Abdullahi case. AG angry with CID boss for not forwarding docket. The Inquisitor. Dealing with vote buying. OSP in action. Lady Alasan under investigation. Former CDS, Buffalo soldier, has died. Diplomat trainee, nurses and midwives to be degree holders. Napo assures. NPP's job creation claims imaginary. Gusitano. Dr. Tukuno on GM's agroeconomic transformation through 24-hour economy. The Herald. Otunfo's bodyguards. Gunshots and beatings sparked attack on his convoy. Techiman Traditional Council reveals as Mahama rubbishes NPP's dirty mischief. Buffalo soldier takes final salute at 37 military hospital. Amewu promises night trade in New Hohoi market. Under pressure, ex-health minister declares shoot to kill in Doma Central on Saturday. Leaves residents apprehensive. Bawumia adores digital border control system and e-gates at Kotoka Airport. Professor Opoku-Agyeman demands whereabouts of Bawumia's Cape Coast Airport. The Daily Statesman. We can mislead voters to win. Nana Akumia confident of MPP victory in Okankwe South. Holders of restructured debts to receive their monies in 2 years. AG advocates strengthened ICC Africa relations. The Ghanaian Publisher. Skip to the next paper. The Custodian. Okay, I feel like skipping all these papers. And it all has to do with this serious disinformation, using AI to produce these things and then getting newspapers to syndicate this thing. And I find it quite shameful with some of the papers that are publishing these things. The supposed reputation of some of these newspapers who are just publishing these things. Extremely shameful. Daily Post. UPDI Africa polls. Mahama maintains lead in final days of campaign. Mahama 52%, Bawumia 46%, others 2%. December 7 election. Show care, exercise patience, and lend a helping hand to persons with disabilities. Andrew Okankwe urges general public. NDC's Council of Elders warns NPP to desist from using vigilante groups, foot soldiers disguised as national security agents to foment trouble on Saturday. And the National Democrat, no force can stand against the people's might when they decide enough is enough, says the NDC's Council of Elders. Okay, that's about it for the front pages. We'll be back shortly.
There's nothing worse than your multi-bet missing, but nothing better than having it saved. BetSaver.
guys, so I got this app. It's called Ayoba. It's a chat app that helps me with beauty tips and cooking tips. A super app that feeds me music and the latest sports content. I even use it for my studies. And the good news is, I don't need to use my data bundle because I'm on MTN. Chale, the app just did be.
Ayoba, the all-in-one app that lets you chat, call, read, play, pay, and listen. Use Ayoba at no data cost on MTN. Download Ayoba now.
Muhammad once said,
have you been offered a bribe before?
As a human being?
As a person?
Any human being in the world would have encountered, corruption in a way, one way or the other.
Dada Noir. On December 7th, vote for integrity, competency, and development. Esuro.
Customer. Adana, who say?
Malaria been actually me, man. No more brand, man. Still.
One of them give us.
Give us a solid.
Yeah. Sorry. What lost of so give us here and turn down.
But over that song. But for me to give us the and turn down.
Give us about me, sir.
Me patron the and turn down.
Hey! Customer. Give us and turn down. Back.
Onuya kayo oba wa fa furo nom de o ma no banu fo nom akwada wa ni mfie dumie no ono nso nom
Kudu! Ghana, the elephant is calling. Get ready for the biggest and the final rally for election 2024. Now, say rally way, ya two things say the possibilities victory rally. Matthew 19:26. But with God, all things are possible. Ebaso Yawada, December 5, 2024. Time 1 p.m. sharp. Venue University of Ghana Sports Directorate Park. Now special guest Amuba Jumedi His Excellency Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo, the President of the Republic of Ghana. His Excellency Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana and the presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party. John Ajakum Kufuor, the former President of the Republic of Ghana. Honorable Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. Honorable Stephen Ayesu Intim. Lawyer Justin Kodia Frimpong. Honorable Alexander Kwamina Afenyo Makin. Honorable Akosia Frema Osai Opare. Enuti, all party members, sympathizers, and the general public are invited to participate in this historic program, which will be carried live on all media houses. NPP Eshi Rado.
Apomode wonsem yemfen diagro enunti nese wonom edepapa nko a Exodus moringa capsules ene Exodus dandelion capsules efi Exodus ebusuanem na ebeboa wapomode emu bia wo benya no betimi aboa nanso se woyi tu no a wo betimi andom abom na ebeboa papa se wonom Exodus moringa capsules ni Exodus dandelion capsules ebua mamoja di efusani yie na fe ebusi wo immune system no na kweti ayarewa ahodo minim yie se ni padodo na nim dia moringa etimi ye na dandelion so ye nim enunti ni nkasa bedru enye ma apemfo ana abatan a oma emifo ana abofra onya emfidumi Exodus ehu adansi die doso.
The 24-hour economy is a vision for you, a vision for us, a vision of the Ghana we all deserve.
I promise a Ghana where you are not sidelined, but at the forefront of change, where you can live happy lives and still achieve your optimum potential. This is not just a promise, it's a commitment. I will reset the economy and Ghana will be open for business for 24 hours a day. I've been talking about this 24-hour economy. It's not only in Ghana we're going to do it. For those of you who have traveled before, you will see 24-hour economy at work in other countries. In Ghana, we have pharmaceutical industries that produce medicines. They produce cough mixtures. They produce antibiotics. They produce paracetamol. Every kind of medicine they produce. There's a huge market in West Africa for pharmaceutical products. If we're able to tap into that market, there's no reason why NS Chemists, Dan Adams, Tobinco, Kina Pharma, there's no reason why they can't work day and night. That's a 24-hour economy. No, it was said yefa bambo for na almost saying send nebeya ebetimi akọ ejuma ba obi antata yen. Enti yebefa bambo for 25,000. Near the yebeba constituency bia who senior school certificate aye. Who need bia now vocational school certificate and now NBTI. Who need madepam, who ye Tyler. We are mason, we are carpenter, we are plumber, we are electrician. Also, you bet me the whole Akogu Bambo for me.
Vote John Mahama, the president you can count on.
Here's Kwame and Yao. After hours of planning, both have paved. Bet safer, win, even if your bet misses.
Who are you? Who are you? Charlie, I'll be you from the future. Who doesn't sleep on that slice of bread for mattress anymore? Don't some slippers then follow me. It is part of mattress we did the front there. Yeah? Happiness mattress where the dead for. Wait, what are you doing? Wow! No damage at all. Not only durable, but also super comfortable. Come on, try it.
Nothing day like Ash Foam. Enjoy full body support and unparalleled comfort for a restful sleep.
Don't forget your keys.
Get the premium sleep experience with mattresses from Ash Foam. Visit any of our showrooms nationwide or at ashfoam.com.
You're the answer to my prayer. You're with me everywhere. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need tonight. Give me shelter from the rain. You breathe life in me again. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need to know tonight.
I want to talk about our vice presidential candidate, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. I have worked with that woman, first as a professor in Cape Coast University, long before she became a vice presidential candidate. Before then also, I worked with her as a minister of education whilst we were working on the establishment of the university at Somanya. There is no way somebody can tell me that a woman of that caliber will not want to continue what she has spent years doing at the University of Cape Coast. I am particularly pleased that we now have a woman at the table. She will certainly remember when we have to make nominations that there are a few women there who should also be at the table. I've seen that being done by her, making sure that we pull younger females, competent, younger, accomplished women into the picture. So on December 7th, be sure to vote for NDC.
Vote for change.
Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
There's nothing worse than your multi-bet missing, but nothing better than having it saved. BetSaver.
Master cool. We dey inside. We dey inside.
Unfortunately, I didn't call to check up. We're here, 3 different delegations. They came here, took pictures, took statements, and so we're waiting on the police. Yeah. Also with me on the show this morning is a long time no see, regular here. I haven't seen him in a while. Okay, I don't know what he's been up to. I don't know if he was responsible for the malfunctioning of the e-gates at the airport yesterday. Eric Abakuchu, he's a sleepstick, but he's a spokesperson of government and it's part of Bawumia 2024. Eric, good morning.
Good morning, Randy.
Where have you been?
Well, I've been to 276 constituencies.
Oh, okay. You were with your candidate?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay.
What is the 276th one?
So, go on.
But they created it now?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Fred Agbanyo's place.
And so I've been on the field, on the road.
Oh, okay.
In the last few months. Yeah, it's been exciting.
You've lost some weight.
I have. I have. But it's all good. I mean,
on the road, no metals. You can only do press-ups.
Yes. I mean, so usually when I get to a good place where you find some semblance of a gym, then I will sneak out in the early mornings to go and work out, and then go out on the field as well.
Okay. All right. Now, there's some good news from MTN, and it says that with buy now, pay later with Sametro, you can now buy a sleek and trendy smartphone and enjoy the luxury of paying in convenient weekly or monthly installment plans. All you have to do is walk into any of MTN's services centers to choose your favorite from a wide range of mobile phones on offer. The best part is all phones come with up to 2 GB free data, so you can share your pictures and get all the biggest scoops online for the first 6 months after purchase. Go on, share the exciting news with your family and friends, and stay connected on the smart side of life with MTN and Sametro. And this December 7th, from the long election queues to the bars on the streets, from ballot casting to vote counting and live reportage from polling centers, Election Central from the Ignite Media Group is where you find the pulse of the nation. Throughout this period, we've got you covered on the insights and analysis from our studios at Ignite Media, comprising Metro TV, Original TV, Original FM, and our digital platforms. Don't just follow the story on Elections 2024. Be a major part of it. Stay with Election Central, because when Ghana decides, the world watches. So all your election news right here on Ignite Media. So we're talking about Metro TV, Original TV, and Original 91.9 FM, and of course all our digital platforms. That's where you catch all the buzz, all the news, all the breaking stories, all the top stories, all the analysis, and of course all the big interviews right here on Ignite Media. Metro TV, Original TV, and Original 91.9 FM. All right. Okay. So yesterday we saw a statement, and for our regulars on this show, I'm sure that you've not forgotten our interviews with Dr. Edu Antwi, with the pensioners, with the bondholders, and the locked up investment holders forum. And I'm sure that you'll remember the banking sector cleanup and all that. And they're actually what we call the specialized deposit taking institutions, SDIs. And apparently there are people whose funds have been locked up for well over 4 years. And they've had meetings upon meetings, letters upon letters. They still can't access their locked up investments as a result of this cleanup and all that. And it's become quite heart-wrenching and very, very disturbing. So we've seen the statement signed by Dr. Edu Antwi, who's the convener. And we'll be speaking with him this morning with respect to what the updates are on as far as the engagements are concerned. And I've just been informed that we have Dr. Edu Antwi on the line with us. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. And you?
By the special grace of God, I'm doing well. How are you able to keep up with all this activism and leadership for these causes? How are you able to keep up with this?
Well, it's just by the grace of God that we still have some strength, and we keep on fighting for people's.
What motivates you? What motivates you to do this? Because pensioner bondholders, we saw you in a Lock Investment Holders Forum and all that. What is it that motivates you? Is it just because you are also a victim, or you're motivated by something else?
No, you see, a larger part of my working life has been with the securities industry. Previously, before even I entered to work in the industry, I was teaching on the stock exchange from the early 90s, teaching investment and all that for people to invest, because investment is what can help the country. People need funds to run organizations, big institutions. They need funds. One person cannot have the money to do all that. If you go to the US, every now and then, they are issuing shares and building companies, and it's people's funds, individuals who put their money there. And so, having done all this thing in my life, teaching and preaching investment, even to secondary school students and children, that this is how we should proceed investing. Not only for the development of the country, but also for our own future. Because a time will come that you cannot work, and you can only depend on something that you have put aside. And so, having done all these things, I am unable to sit and see people going through that after they have gone through or they have accepted that, yes, investment, we should do the investment. And I think that after you have done that, there should be a way of helping you to have some of these things sorted out when things are not going the right way. And so I felt that it's a duty that I have to carry out to ensure that attitude that people have now developed or developing, towards investment is not stopped. People will shy away from investing, and the consequences will be there for all of us, not only individuals, but the corporations and the nation.
Now,
so that's what.
Yes. Now, Doc, thank you very much, and God richly bless you for using all your knowledge and experience and your strength, intellect, everything, skill to lead this for us. But kindly help us. When you speak about Locked Up Investment Holders Forum, what kind of forum are you talking about?
Well, there are some institutions, basically specialized deposit-taking institutions, who have become distressed and cannot pay interest on their deposited funds, and also can't return the funds when they are due. And it has been happening. It's keeping on. It's going on for some time. In some cases, over 4 years now, people are complaining they can't have their funds. And so the institutions that are going through that, they are all under the Bank of Ghana. And the Bank of Ghana rules, or even the law, states that when an institution is unable to function, it has become insolvent. The Bank of Ghana should revoke their licenses. Even if the Bank of Ghana determined that in the next 6 weeks you become insolvent, they should start the resolution processes. But some of these companies has been there, or institution has been there for more than 4 years, 3 years without able to meet their depositors' demand. They are becoming insolvent. So 4 of them that investors were complaining were the NDK Financial Services, SIC Life Savings and Loans, SDC Investment Financial Services, and then Bond Savings and Loans. So I put it on the website, WhatsApp, that people who have gotten their monies locked up should let me know so that we can together fight to get some of these things sorted out. So these clients of these institutions came on board, and that is how the Locked Up Investment Forum started. And so we started writing to the Bank of Ghana that you are the regulator, and so do something about it. We weren't getting the positive results until we marched to Bank of Ghana on the 27th of March. And the governor said, yes, we know these companies have become insolvent, and the law requires us to revoke their licenses. But we are unable to do that because when we revoked the licenses of other institutions, similar institutions, in 2019, the government made provision for us to pay them deposited funds to them. So if we are going to revoke the licenses of these current ones, definitely then we must pay them. And it's the government that must make financial provision for us to go ahead and revoke and pay people their deposits. And that is how we now have to turn our attention to the Ministry of Finance to ask that the ministry makes financial provision just as it did in 2019 and paid the clients of the companies whose licenses were revoked.
Doc, kindly clarify something for me. Are you saying that these 4 companies you mentioned, I had SDC, I had SIC Life, I had NDK, and then there's Bond Savings and Loans, if I'm right?
Yes.
Okay.
Those are the companies whose clients inform the forum.
Okay.
That is when the message has gone out. These are the 4 institutions whose clients said they could not retrieve their funds. There may be others who have not come on board, or even others who at the time of the establishment of the forum, maybe they were getting their monies, but now they are not getting, but we don't know them. It's only Bank of Ghana that has the information on all those institutions.
Okay, so the clarification that I was seeking was that I heard you say that per the position of the law, when these institutions are unable to meet the demands of their clients, which therefore suggests that they are insolvent, the law requires that the Bank of Ghana steps in to revoke their licenses. And that in some cases, for as long as over 4 years, some of these institutions have become insolvent. Yet, the Bank of Ghana has not stepped in to do what it is required by law to do, which is what it did in 2019. And when you demonstrated, the Bank of Ghana indicated that government had to step in to provide the funds if indeed they went ahead to revoke the licenses. And that is why they have not revoked these licenses. That's the clarification I was seeking.
Yes. Bank of Ghana has said it clearly that they are unable to revoke the licenses. And this is what exactly the governor told us. Because he said, if we revoke the licenses today, tomorrow we believe investors will march here and say, where do we get our funds? And so to avoid that, they wanted the government or the Ministry of Finance to make financial provisions so that when they revoke the license, they can tell you, you can get your money here or there. So they are waiting. And they are doing that because the precedent has been set in 2019 when they revoked the licenses of all these microfinance, financial houses, and savings and loans companies. The government made provision for the payment of clients' funds. And so they believe that if the provision is not made and they revoke, there will be problem because investors will march to the Bank of Ghana demanding their funds and they would not have anything to say. And that is why they are also unable to revoke until the Minister of Finance make financial provision. And that is why we had to go to the ministry and has been picketing all this time. We were able to force the ministry to write to the Bank of Ghana for the Bank of Ghana to give them information on all distressed or insolvent institutions. We don't have the letter, but we know the letter has gone to the Minister of Finance. We don't know how many institutions the Bank of Ghana has stated in that letter that they have become distressed. But at least we, the forum, the members are coming from these 4 institutions. But as I said, there may be other institutions that are also distressed, and Bank of Ghana would have added them to the list of distressed institutions that they have submitted to the Minister of Finance for the Minister of Finance to make a decision.
But Doc, I find this quite curious. If not irresponsible, reckless, and illegal, I mean, if we look at the events leading up to 2019 and what we were told about the financial sector and what we were told about the complicity of the central bank leading up to the situation that culminated in the 2019 sector cleanup. I mean, how do we have a situation where a regulator says that it's fully aware that entities that it has licensed or entities that it has a supervisory rollover are insolvent, yet they have operating licenses, and there could be unsuspecting Ghanaians who will continue to take their monies there, apart from those who on the basis of these licenses have sent their investments there and are in distress as a result of this. Yet it is not going to step in to take any action because it does not have any devoted funds to deal with this. That sounds absurd to me.
Yeah, it's so because investors' funds are involved in these issues. And if earlier on you have revoked the licenses of all these institutions, and you recall that when the licenses were revoked, first government said they issued a 5-year zero coupon bonds to all investors. That was done. They paid 50,000 straight or something, and then the rest were turned into 5-year zero coupon bonds. And people were going to be paid their monies in 5 years' time, no interest, but your amount was divided into 5 for you to get 1/5 every year. Then along the line, there were agitation left and right that people were suffering, and the government now came back and made and said that now they are going to pay everything. So they paid instead of the bonds. They paid everybody. So that precedent having been set, Bank of Ghana also sees that if they go and touch another firm, that the consequence will be the same, that investors would have to be paid their money. And so if I'm unable to get that financial provision down and I revoke and investors rise up against the bank, that where do we get our money? You revoke the license of ABC Limited last 2 years, last 3 years, or last 5 years. You pay them. You have revoked the licenses of these institutions. Why are you not paying us? Bank of Ghana, according to them, do not want that problem to come. And so they want the government to make financial provision before they can revoke this license. And that is a danger, because these companies, before you realize, all the assets might have even gone away. Because revocation or resolution of financial institutions, if you don't do it in time, you may not realize the assets. Before you come in, all the assets, especially the movable assets, you won't get anything. If people have vehicles and whatever, by the time you are waiting 4 or 5 years, you might have sold everything. The only thing that you may go and find sitting there, maybe some immovable assets. And even that one, before you realize, it is becoming, it's destroying, because lack of maintenance, property, which is there, and if for 4 years the people don't have the funds to manage the property, before you go in, you can't realize the value that you think you could have realized. So once you delay in resolving these institutions, it has its own consequences. Before you realize, then nothing is left to be even realized out of these institutions. So that's challenge. That delaying causes all these problems, but acting now also will cause me no funds to pay investors, is what the Bank of Ghana is faced with. And I think they think that the option of waiting to get government to make financial provisions before revoking is the best or the better out of the two situations.
So where are you now? I mean, shuttling between the Ministry of Finance and the Central Bank, with thousands of people's investments locked up and not getting any cue from the regulator as to what is going to happen, not getting anything from the government that respect to the Ministry of Finance. Where are you shuttling between these two institutions? What's happening to the investments? What's happening to the people? Where are you now with this?
So far, what has happened is that we were able to put pressure on the ministry to ask the Bank of Ghana to provide data, information on the distressed or insolvent institutions, which the ministry said they needed to take a decision. After a while, after a long struggle, the ministry wrote, and then the Bank of Ghana was also delaying in submitting the report. So we informed the police we are going to march protest to the Bank of Ghana. And then that put pressure on the Bank of Ghana, governor, and the management. I personally had an engagement with the governor at an evening program and said, we are coming to your bank if you don't respond. And the governor promised that they would respond, and then they responded. So we also informed the police that we were not going to march to the Bank of Ghana because they have provided the information. And since the information was provided, the ministry, instead of working on it to take a decision, has also been giving excuses. You go today and they say the officers to work on it have traveled, have this, that, they are not there. So we gave them, we said, well, once you have this information, we would pause on our picketing and wait for you to do some work. At the last visit, they were telling us that by 28, the officers in charge of the assignment will be in, and then they will work on it. So we say, well, then we will come and meet you on the 2nd, which was Monday, and tell us exactly what you have done to get us a resolution to this issue. Monday, delegation went there and nothing has happened. The same old story, the same old story. And we believe it is just a ploy to delay the resolution of this locked up investment, lock-up funds issue, which has been caused by the cleanup exercise. The financial cleanup is a result of the financial cleanup exercise. We believe the government is just delaying the resolution and pushing it on to the next government, which will take charge of the administration of this country from January, so that they are not the ones to resolve it. That is that the situation, and what we have gone through has confirmed that that is exactly what the government want to do. But we say we will still continue, regardless of whatever government is there. Once we have Bank of Ghana still there, and we have the Ministry of Finance still there, we will continue with our agitation until we get a resolution to this. We won't allow our funds to just vanish. Hard, and we have toiled for our monies. People are dying because they can't get their money for their. Can you imagine what has happened to Karma? The chairman came out to say his money is locked up. A whole industrialist who have led his life well now cannot afford certain things in life, and sadly he has passed on. And many people have passed on, but because they haven't come out to say our monies are locked up, we wouldn't know they are part of the people who are suffering for lack of funds. So we'll continue to press until we get resolution to these problems.
Okay. Now, Doc, you have taught the law. You have taught finance. You've taught investments. I'm sure that you've been involved with this perhaps close to my age, if not my age. I mean, that's what you've done all your life. These issues of 2019, DDEP, pension bond holders, what's happening now with the locked up investment holders forum and all that. I mean, you taught the basics that perhaps investing in government securities and bonds were the safest. That's what we learned every day. I mean, we speak about investments. We teach people to invest for their future. We actually even encourage people to look at raising capital from the investment markets and all that. All these things that have happened from 2019 till today, what does that do as far as the investment culture is concerned, as far as the financial landscape of this country is concerned, moving forward, especially for an economy that is supposed to be at the recovery ward?
Well, I think if nobody even is taking note, you should note that government is not getting the needed financing for its activity through the sale of T-bills. T-bills are the only source of financing for the government as at now. And just last week, it was reported that the government needed about 6 billion and got about 3-point-something billion. So that huge difference, I believe, is going to affect government in terms of even paying salaries and other recurring expenditures, because it's the only source that you have. So what has happened has an effect on all of us. Investor confidence is down. I always say that for some of those of us who are still teaching, it is difficult even when you are telling people that you must invest, because they throw back the question to you, when you invested, what happened? So it is a difficult thing that we have created. The financial sector cleanup was necessary, but I have always said that the way it was done, I believe we could have done it better. We could have done it better and saved the situation. I keep on saying, because I personally, at that time, because of the job I have done in the industry, outsiders, people that know this is what I have done, were in contact with me wanting to invest in some of these institutions. And I say that if we have allowed, and you see, the Bank of Ghana law also has that. And I was privileged to be part of a provision in the law that I helped redrafted to say that if the institution is going down and needed to be refunded, put more cash in, tell the current shareholders to bring in money. And if they don't bring in they are not able to bring in the money, let others outside the shareholders bring in money. And I'm saying at that time, if we had used that provision and said, well, this company needed 200 million, the shareholders are unable to bring it. So we are going out and make an advert inviting new shareholders to bring in money. At that time, Ghana was at the top. People wanted to invest in this country. And I can say for that my own, because I was dealing with people who wanted to take up shares in most of these banks and other institutions, huge ones. You know, so if we have done it in the way, we would have gotten outside capital to beef up before you realize somebody who had 100%, 90% shareholding in the financial institution would end up holding some 4% or 2%. But the institution will be there. The staff will be there. Its services will be there. And we will move. So for me, even though the cleanup was necessary, I think that the way we handle it was not the best. We could have done more. And all this, we could have done it in a more, the discussion way. We would discuss this thing with other people, get people to suggest ways and that we can use to handle this. And that could have solved the problem better than what we did. And that didn't help. People have issues with my money is locked up. They waited, later on got it. Some people still haven't gotten most of their monies. And then the government, who is also portrayed as being the person that when you give the money to, you always have your money back, as you said. That's the theory that is taught, risk-free. We always say risk-free interest rate. Use the treasury bill because you always get your money back. That also, we had a problem with government going in default and compounding the problem. And so with all this, that people have to struggle before they got something out of this DDEP. It is difficult getting people to invest. And that's why I have maintained that the government should be talking to the development partners, the IMF, World Bank, and others, to support us to clean up the financial sector fully, completely. If they help support us, then we are able to clean up all this and people get their money back. Then we can start building confidence in the market. Then we can start talking to people that, look, do it because at the end of the day, there is a way for you to come back to the level that you were if something happens. But if we leave it like that, and up to now, people are still struggling for their funds. The financial management companies whose licenses were revoked 2019 are still struggling. This year, government said they were going to pay 1.5. It's not coming. The rest, we don't know when it will come. Those who are still operating with their licenses has not been revoked. There's a problem there. So that problem is just there in the market. And so when we are talking about, I sometimes when I see people, the financial, we are coming back from where? Where have we reached? If my money is still locked up, and I've said until locked-up funds are paid back to investors, you can't say the financial market has achieved any stability. We don't have a stable financial market. I keep on saying, if you are in a car and you want to get down and you are not getting down and the car is just shaking and you can't get down, and you say you are in a stable car. No, I'm in the market. I want to go out. My money is locked. I can't have it. And you say that market is stable. Then I tell people, I don't know how they measure stability. But as far as I'm concerned, until everybody gets its money that is locked up in the financial market back, you don't talk about having stabilized the financial market. So it's a huge problem that we have. And I've said that government should try. That financial stability fund that we're establishing, give some, let the donors agree so that you use some to work to stabilize the market by giving out some of these funds to pay back investors' locked-up funds. So that's a huge problem that we have, and investor confidence is down there. I ask people, even middle-level people, why are you not investing? Even if you say people should invest in treasury bills, they are still afraid that no, I will send my money. I'd rather keep it. Or buy dollars and pounds. That's one of the things that is pushing. Everybody has some small money and using it to buy dollars or pounds to keep. And when he needs money, he go and take one and go and exchange. If he's not able, he won't do that. He's going to buy land. Now land prices, you can't even buy half land, quarter. Because everybody wants to buy the land. You are afraid going into financial investment. So you want to put your money in land and other things. And that is also creating problems, people fighting over land and all those things, and people have been dying through some of these things. So we have a problem that if we don't resolve the locked up funds in this financial market, we will have nowhere going. And it will not affect only individuals. It will also affect government, because government needed funds to support the budget, and you won't get it because people have the funds and they won't give it to you. They'll go and buy dollars. And the dollar rate will also what? Go up. And the effect will be there until we resolve this problem in the financial market.
All right, look, I would leave you this morning, but thank you very much for your advocacy. Thank you very much for all that you've been doing since 2019. I mean, that's very selfless and exemplary. Thank you so very much. God richly bless you. And I'm sure that we'll continue our conversations until we're able to get all these locked up investments freed, and of course to sanitize our investment and financial sector. Thank you so very much.
Thank you too.
Okay, so that's Dr. Edu Anani Entry, the convener of the Locked Up Investment Forum. They issued a statement yesterday updating us on engagements with the Ministry of Finance to make financial provision for the Bank of Ghana to revoke the licenses of distressed stroke insolvent specialized deposit taking institutions and pay depositors locked up funds. So, Kwesi, the issue really is that quite remarkable. The central bank and the Ministry of Finance are fully aware, and they've been aware for over 4 years, of companies that are insolvent. And you heard the names. Some of them are even state-owned. And they are insolvent. They know that they are insolvent. the law requires that they revoke their licenses. However, they haven't revoked their licenses. And so those who have been there already have their funds locked up. And these institutions also continue to do business because their licenses are intact. And the repercussions and all that are what Dr. Duana Nientris told us. But the key thing is that whatever we did in 2019 is not over. We have not done it. There's still a lot of mess. We haven't cleaned up the sector. And as I raised it with him, I mean, we had problems with the initial people at the Bank of Ghana. But today, we're also aware that the Bank of Ghana knows that this is the situation. However, it says that because of the example set in 2019, if I step in, there will be this demand. So although I know that there's insolvency, I won't step in.
Randy, I think that the problem is far more complicated than the way it has been simplified. And we're talking generally about the health of the national economy. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about a situation in which not just the financial institutions, but we are broke. You understand? We are completely broke. Some have even suggested that we've reached the level of bankruptcy, and that's what it is. Now, the full implication of what is happening is that government is not able to borrow, from the public because the ability to pay is simply not there, to repay when these things happen is simply not there. I mean, we are just bankrupt. That's the situation. The Bank of Ghana is required to make arrangements to ensure that when financial institutions go under, the licenses are revoked, and that out of those arrangements which have been made, those who have made deposits, can be repaid. As it is, it's clear that the Bank of Ghana cannot find the funds, to repay those who have made these investments. So, what arrangement did the Bank of Ghana make, from the very beginning to ensure that if these financial institutions go under, those who, on the basis of the licensing of the institutions by the Bank of Ghana, had confidence in the institutions, will get their money back? That's one of the questions, which is being posed. But, I mean, the doctor you interviewed, makes it quite clear that all claims that you have turned the corner and so on, all claims that the economy is improved significantly and so on are false. And I completely agree with him. Because you cannot have this kind of situation and be talking about a healthy financial sector. You cannot have this situation and be talking about significant improvement in the state of the economy. We are in very, very serious crisis, serious national crisis. The financial sector is in very serious crisis. For me, the other question which needs to be posed is that which are the other institutions which are in crisis? Are there other institutions which are in crisis? And recently we've been hearing all kinds of stories about banks which are likely to go down or have gone down, and we are not being told the full story. Which are these banking institutions which have gone down or about to go down? And if this is happening with the institutions which have already been listed, what then would happen to the banks which are likely to go under or have gone under and are being protected? Not enough information is being made available to us. So this is the crisis that we are in. And I believe that the way out is a complete overhaul of the national economy, complete, total overhaul of the national economy, especially the financial sector of the national economy. And if you don't do that, we'll be beating about the bush and these problems will keep recurring. In 2019, the problem began, or at least we saw the problem manifest, somehow in 2019. It appears that in 2024, the situation is getting worse, and it could still continue to get worse if there's not a total revamping of the national economy.
Eric.
Yeah, Randy. So for me, I think that some of the issues have been discussed so many times, and so it's almost as if that we are rehashing the commentary. But what's interesting is the fact that sometimes we don't even talk about the genesis of all of these things. You know, prior to the initial banking sector cleanup, there were challenges. There were challenges even in reports as far back as 2012. I mean, if you go to some of SecTechB's budget reading and all of that, you find out that some reference was made to the challenges that we're facing in the banking sector. You require some support from even the Bank of Ghana at this time, where some liquidity support was given to some of these entities that eventually had to be consolidated and all of that. And so for me, I think that even when it comes to the regulatory aspect of it from the Bank of Ghana, it's very clear that from the onset there was some kind of inertia that even led to some of these things. I believe strongly that over the period, some of the issues have been dealt with. We've had instances where the bank itself have gone out, if you read some of the papers, and the notice that have gone out to unsuspecting customers as to not to do business with certain entities. And so for me, I think that yes, we need to by all means go ahead and still do some of the changes and do the cleanup. It's also important to understand that we've come from a very, if you like, low place where after all these challenges, we had challenges with the COVID and all of these things that affected the economy. And so you have challenges with productivity and low productivity and all of that. So you look at it from a certain holistic standpoint, where during the implementation of this cleanup, there was a decision that had to be made. And sometimes you have the benefit of hindsight and you can say that maybe we could have taken a different route. But the major focus was to ensure that close to 7 million deposits were saved. So you had to probably have a trade-off as to how do you ensure that there's some kind of sanity within the system. There's still some level of confidence within the banking sector by ensuring that deposits were essentially protected, and people who had their monies and all sorts of things within the banking sector would be protected. And of course, over the period, it's very clear that people who also had investments were affected, and government had to make a decision as to what to do to ensure that there's not a total collapse of the banking sector. And so these are lessons for all of us to probably look at. And Randy, remember that even during the heat of these conversations, I think that was a time that myself and you had a conversation about, even some of these entities had annual audit reports from the top 5 audit entities, saying that they had a clean bill of health. You understand my point? I mean, for you to be able to even renew your license and to continue being a banking institution, it required that at every annual report you attach an auditor's report, and these auditors actually claimed that these banks were doing the right things, and some of these things were even hidden from the regulator themselves. And the regulator, of course, in certain instances also showed a certain level of inertia. For example, I mean, there was some financial liquidity support that went to certain entities, sometimes close to 540 million Ghana cedis. Yet there was absolutely no mitigation measures put in place to ensure that the same things were not done over the period. So for me, I mean, my orientation when it comes to some of these conversations as to maybe you would have done it in a different way is you always live and die by the decisions that you make. You always also have the benefit of hindsight to make sure that maybe in terms of how you implement some of these things, you would find new ways of making sure that the challenges that we face has not happened. But the reality on the ground is that we were at a point where we were on the cusp of a total collapse of our banking sector. And somebody had to take certain hard decisions. Some of the decisions were unfavorable to certain entities. Like every public sector decision, public policy decision that is made. And so for me, yes, let's fix the issues. It's imperative that the assurances that have been given by the Ministry of Finance in terms of making sure that people who have their investments still locked up will get access to these funds are adhered to, so that at least we will put this behind us and ensure that we don't come back to some of these challenges again going into the future.
That's a problem. You know, there's a big problem. And the problem is simply this. I mean, Mr. Setekwe left office as finance minister almost 8 years ago.
Yes.
If 8 years on, there's a problem as huge as this one, we cannot be referring to 8 years ago.
No, I'm just saying...
No. We cannot be going back 8 years ago. Because 8 years ago, we were told that there were solutions to these problems. And we mandated some people to solve the problems. 8 years on, the problem has only grown bigger. It hasn't grown smaller. It hasn't been solved in any way. You understand? So if you're discussing this matter, we should be discussing the mandate we gave 8 years ago and how it has impacted on this situation, on the financial sector, mess and so on. That point has been made very, very clearly and strongly.
No, I think you probably misconstrued what I said. I mean, I'm saying that in terms of having an indication and understanding of the challenges that we were facing, or the financial sector was facing, it was clear that even under the NDC administration prior to 2016, certain decisions were made, certain actions were taken to mitigate the issues, but it still didn't solve it. And so I just made reference to the fact that these things were there. I mean, what Dr. Edu Ananientwi said in terms of the fact that he felt that the cleanup was necessary. He had issues with how it was implemented. And what I said was that, yes, hindsight is brilliant, where you're bedeviled with a particular challenge and you have to find solutions to it. You make certain decisions. All of us in corporate governance, in even our family situations and business decisions that we make, always have certain contingencies, and where you feel that, and so post-evaluation.
Just to be fair, when you continue stressing on hindsight, the impression might be taken that views like that of Dr. Edu came in after the fact.
No, I'm not.
These were options that were tabled from the beginning. So they are not just...
No, I agree. And that's what I'm saying. But certain decisions were taken. For example, the decision to consolidate some of these institutions, the decision to recapitalize some of these institutions, the decision to ensure that the deposits of Ghanaian customers were protected. All of these were decisions that were taken. And I admitted that, yes, it's also very true that in taking some of these decisions, certain persons, especially people who had investment, were affected. And that government made certain decisions in terms of making sure that, one, you still have a certain financial sector. You maintain some sanity within the system. It doesn't ensure that, it ensures that there's not a total collapse of the banking sector. And then you take this decision, you build on that. People would always have issues with how these things are implemented. For example, if you even want to go to individual examples of banks or institutions that were consolidated as a result of the fact that some of these institutions were even exposed to themselves. The clear examples of that, and the documents are there for everybody to appreciate. So all I'm saying is that, yes, we had challenges. The challenges have been there for a while. Decisions were taken. Some of the decisions did not basically benefit certain individuals. But going forward, what it means is that at least we have an opportunity to glean from hindsight that A, B, C, D is not the way to go. So for example, even if, based on even this conversation that we're having this morning, you realize that there's a certain reluctance from the regulator, that is the Bank of Ghana, to even take certain decisions. Either it's a very good idea or not, the argument is still out there, which means that it gives us an opportunity to say, okay, if these are institutions that are in distress or are insolvent, how do we deal with a situation where we don't find ourselves in that particular quagmire.
So what it means is that despite what we did in 2019,
we still have challenges.
We haven't been able to sanitize the sector, because I cringe when the facts suggest that the regulators are aware of insolvent companies, in some cases close to 5 years. Yet they are unable to do what the law says they should do, revocation of licenses. So in this case, even the unsuspecting Ghanaian does not even know. Because how are you able to determine that a company is insolvent?
But Randy, I'm saying that part of the problem is that over the last 8 years, government itself has been borrowing at unsustainable levels. That's the problem. Yeah. That's the difficulty of the Bank of Ghana. Yeah. So don't let us create the impression that some, financial companies and so on have been.
In fact, the regulator itself,
yes,
and the government itself are they are the biggest offenders of the law.
Exactly. That's the point. We have been borrowing at unsustainable levels for 8 years, and that's what has pushed us into this crisis.
Anyway, so let's take a break. When we return, the IGP is talking tough. Security, elections 2024. And mind you, tomorrow will be last day for campaigning. Not so? Tomorrow is the last day.
Yes, tomorrow.
Tomorrow will be the last
24 hours before the elections.
Yeah, so tomorrow will be last day. Okay. Yes, so Friday, no campaigning. Okay. Now, a man whose epistles have been read, word by word, line by line, in this country for close to 12 years. The first special prosecutor in this Republic of Ghana, an appointee of President Akufo-Addo, has issued what will be his final epistle before election 2024. And he's telling us who he thinks we should vote for and why. I'm talking about Mr. Martin Amidu.
That's so important.
Here's Kwame and Yao. When it's saved, bet safer, win, even if your bet misses.
Hey guys, so I got this app. It's called Ayoba. It's a chat app that helps me with beauty tips and cooking tips. A super app that feeds me music and the latest sports content. I even use it for my studies. And the good news is, I don't need to use my data bundle because I'm on MTN. Charlie, the app just did be.
Ayoba, the all-in-one app that lets you chat, call, read, play, pay, and listen. Use Ayoba at no data cost on MTN. Download Ayoba now.
Over the last 8 years, we've seen an insensitive government, a government that has made corruption the order of the day, and a government that has put most Ghanaians into poverty. In 2022 alone, 825,000 Ghanaians fell into poverty. As I speak to you now, 41% of Ghanaians are described as multidimensionally poor. Our unemployment rate is 14.7%, double what the current administration MPP came to meet. 2.1 million people unemployed, most of them women, most of them young people at the prime of life who should be earning and taking care of themselves and basically building families. They are at home stuck with nothing to do, waiting for a change. John Mahama represents that change. He represents empathy, sensitivity, in contrast to the arrogance that we have seen over the last 8 years, in contrast with the selfishness that we have seen over the last 8 years. John is determined, as he has pronounced in the 24-hour economy, to rebuild this country with your help, with your support, with your energy, so that we can reconstruct our country and make it what it should be, able to feed all its people, able to house all its people, able to school all its people, and able to ensure that all its people are healthy.
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
Experience the enhanced protection of Star Motor Third Party Extra from Star Assurance, an enhanced motor third party insurance policy that provides cover for loss or damage to your vehicle's windscreens, side mirrors, back glass, and other glass components. Whether it's a crack or major damage, you can drive with the assurance that your vehicle is well protected. Our commitment to you includes affordable coverage options and a claims process that is both fast and straightforward, so you spend less time dealing with paperwork and more time on the road. Also, we have proudly partnered with Hope for Little Lives, an organization dedicated to supporting children in need. By choosing Star Motor Third Party Extra, you're protecting your vehicle and making a positive impact. Every policy you buy helps bring joy and support to children in underserved communities. Reach out to us now on our toll-free numbers 0800 177 177 or 0302 245 906 to sign up. Let us help you drive with peace of mind and purpose. Star Motor Third Party Extra. Drive with confidence, give back with heart.
Star Assurance, your solid partner.
Here's Kwame and Yao. Bet saver, win, even if your bet misses.
Industrialization is our only way out. Yes, we could be bankers and we could be insurers, but the machine is needed. Because when we wake up in the morning, we iron our clothes with machines, we cook our food with machines, we travel to work with machines, but none of the machines that we're building ourselves, which means we're buying everything from outside. We can't keep buying everything from outside when everybody is building things from inside, everywhere in the world. Dubai is doing it. Qatar is doing it. China is doing it. America is doing it. Every country is doing it. When it comes to Africa, we just want to import things. And you know it costs us money to import things. How do you give your cotton to somebody and they bring it back to you as shirt? There's 7 processes where you're going to turn the cotton to textile, to yard, and to pattern before it becomes a shirt. You miss all that process. You never thought your children had to do that. The reason why our cocoa is becoming a butter and it's coming from a different country because we're missing the 7 process. The processing is the plant. We need to bring these machines into our countries. We need to employ people. We don't need people to come and invest. We need to employ people. Now I have a policy here. This policy is called SNAIT's Revolution. And for the first time, I am bringing such a huge opportunity to insurance by turning insurance platform into banks. Making sure that this policy, that whole SNAIT 10,000, that they will insure in the next 5 years of their life, will guarantee them their accommodation when they need it. It will guarantee them their hospital bill when they need it. And it would also fix their education when they need it. Please, I know I don't have enough of this to give to everybody, but if you have a chance and you want to, scan it.
Using Koa Mixture, Koa Plus Mixture, and Koa MT Mixture, brought to you by Koa Research and Manufacturing Limited Company, proudly made in Ghana. Formulated to support your general well-being. For those seeking immune system support, there is Koa Plus Mixture. Support your body's defenses and stay strong. When it comes to combating malaria, Koa MT Mixture will aid your treatments. For effective relief from malaria symptoms, try Koa MT Mixture. Koa Mixture, Koa Plus Mixture, and Koa MT Mixture are not recommended for pregnant women, lactating mothers, and children under 12 years. Always take a malaria test before using Koa MT Mixture. Choose Koa Mixture, Koa Plus Mixture, and Koa MT Mixture for your health needs. Available now at pharmacies nationwide. For bulk purchases, contact 0244 726611 or 0591 565 778. This advert is everywhere.
Kudu, Ghana, the elephant is calling. Get ready for the biggest and the final rally for election 2024. Now, say rally where you took this, the possibilities victory rally. Matthew 19:26. But with God, all things are possible. possible. Ebaso Yawada, December 5, 2024. Time 1 p.m. sharp. Venue University of Ghana Sports Directorate Park. Now special guest Amumba Jumedi His Excellency Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo, the President of the Republic of Ghana. His Excellency Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana and the presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, John Ajakum Kufuor, the former President of the Republic of Ghana. Honorable Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, Honorable Stephen Ayesu Intim, Lawyer Justin Kodia Frimpong, Honorable Alexander Kwamina Afenyo Makin, Honorable Akosia Frema Osai Opare, and all party members, sympathizers, and the general public are invited to participate in this historic program, which will be carried live on all media houses. NPP Eshi Rado 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 Rado.
Hey, what's up?
How far with your intention?
To be honest, I'm so nervous about starting this new role on Monday.
Oh please, I know you'll be great at it. You should be worried about what benefits they have. Example, do they have health insurance?
I doubt they will have that for internet. So no shaking. I have NHIS already.
Actually, I'm still line.
Ina, look at you. What are you going to do in your office when you can just download the app to register for an NHIS membership?
Yes, my people. You heard right. You can now download and register your membership on my NHIS app. No long queues or tedious paperwork. All you need is your Ghana card to register for yourself and for others. Once you register, you get a new digital NHIS card on your phone. My NHIS app gives you access to credentialed health facilities and services across the country. NHIS covers over 95% of disease conditions in Ghana. Access to healthcare just got easier.
Now let me sign up quickly. Please, Seth, I'm starting work next month.
Allow history to be the judge of how I have served my nation. How well I have done my part in running my lap of that relay. What that verdict will ultimately be, I cannot say. I can only say that I have done my best, giving my all.
In almost 8 years, what is the verdict of this proclamation?
One day on television, I will kneel down and say, Mahama, I am sorry. And someone may kafan who's our angel.
Say one day,
Mahama was an angel.
Mahama Kafra. Maybe hear this in you, but I stand for the truth. Mahama, sorry.
Oh, I'm taking this opportunity to apologize to the former president. His Excellency John Mahama.
And yesterday, I was bold to apologize to President Mahama because he's a fine gentleman. Corruption, the number of times 10. Mahama, this year they are fetching Ghana for the fetching and the fetching.
After years, after the mama chop, but no physical. Maybe we don't want to chop. My body will be the mama, my body will be.
Missing someone that pick up from Mahama, who fired that time, you piece of Mahama, you come forward, you say, that Mahama angel.
Here's Kwame and Yao. Saved, bet saver, win, even if your bet misses.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV, and still with me on the show, I have Kwesi Pratt Jr. and Erica Mwakuchum. But you've all been there, you've placed the perfect multi-bet, and it's all going your way until it's not, and one or more picks let you down. Well, with Betway's Bet Saver feature, you can win even if your bet misses. Even on multiple losses, you can get your bet back and more. Bet Saver is exclusive to Betway, Get Way More. Terms and conditions apply. This is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet the responsible way. Betway, Get Way More. And this December 7th, from the long election queues to the bars on the streets, from ballot casting to vote counting and live reportage from polling stations, Election Central from the Ignite Media Group is where you find the pulse of the nation. Throughout this period, we've got you covered on the insights and analysis from our studios at Ignite Media, comprising Metro TV, Original 91.9 FM, and our digital platforms. Don't just follow the story on Elections 2024, be a part of it. Stay with Election Central, because when Ghana decides, the world watches. So Election Central is right here on the Ignite Media platforms. Metro TV, Original TV, and Original 91.9 FM. So, talking about election security, Center Spread Ghanaian Times is also carried by quite a number of the papers. Election Security Task Force talks tough, declares zero tolerance for machoism, uniformed non-state security personnel on election day. And the National Election Security Task Force, led by the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare, has declared zero tolerance for the phenomenon of machoism and the wearing of uniform by non-security personnel during the upcoming December 7 general elections. This was communicated to the political parties during a meeting yesterday between the task force and political party leaders at the police headquarters to address outstanding security concerns after their earlier engagement on November 21, 2024. In his address, the IGP, Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare, informed the various parties that the National Election Security Task Force was going to this year's general election with zero tolerance for the phenomenon of machoism, which in the past was a source of intimidation during electoral processes. He therefore warned that anyone who attempts to intimidate people at any polling station, collation center, or within any community across the country during the election period will be arrested and dealt with in accordance with the law. The IGP also stressed that security remained the sole responsibility of the state security agencies and maintained that the National Election Security Task Force will not condone the practice where non-state security personnel and individuals wore uniforms or assume appearances that mimic state security agencies during the elections. Quote, any non-security personnel found in such uniforms on election day will be dealt with. And he seized the opportunity to outline the newly redefined de-escalation strategy, which focuses on providing contact numbers of the police leadership at the national, regional, divisional, and district commands to ensure quick and effective resolution of security issues at any location across the country during the election period in a timely manner. This strategy of de-escalation is formed out of the fact that some major conflicts during elections stem from unresolved disagreements among stakeholders. These issues often begin as minor disputes, but without timely leadership interventions can escalate into violence. This de-escalation strategy is therefore taken to address these situations effectively during this election period. The political parties on their part pledged their commitment to abide by these measures to ensure a peaceful election. Okay, so that's basically it. And I was trying to get the statement from the armed forces, which also spoke about their non-involvement as far as the elections are concerned, and that they will only be on standby, and they can only be called in by the Election Security Task Force. They are not supposed, no soldier is supposed to be anywhere. They are not supposed to do anything with the elections, and also encouraging us to report if we find any military personnel. Are you assured by this? So that's the armed forces statement. No military personnel will be stationed at any polling station. So this was the release on the 1st of December 2024.
There's something that gives me some level of confidence, and it's simply the history of elections, the elections that we've held over the last 4 years. And I refer specifically to the by-elections, Asin North, and then the one in Lejusu and so on. These elections were conducted quite peacefully, and the security services behaved themselves properly, and they stopped many alleged cases of rigging and intimidation and so on. So based on that, one can go into these elections with a certain level of assurance, with a certain level of understanding and so on. However, my problem simply is that now the thing is on a nationwide scale, and to take the example, for example, of Asin North and replicate it nationwide would have serious challenges, So on one hand, based on the record of the security services in the last by-elections and so on, I have some confidence. But then, naturally, I also do have some doubts about how to replicate those practices nationwide. One of the things which has been demonstrated very clearly is the integrity of heads of the security services, especially the Inspector General of Police, who has demonstrated in the last few by-elections that he as an individual and as head of the police service is neutral and is committed to making sure that things happen properly and so on. There's one part of the narrative that I'm not too comfortable with. Because you see, if you take the 1992 Constitution, every citizen is clothed with the duty to ensure that we have free and fair elections. It is not the preserve of the security services. But the narration now seems to suggest that protecting the ballot, making sure that rigging does not take place and that people are not intimidated and so on, is the sole responsibility of the security services, especially the police force. I think that narrative is faulty, you understand? Because everybody, first of all, everybody has a right of self-defense, which cannot be taken away simply because we want the security services to work. All of us have the right of self-defense. All of us have a duty to protect the Constitution. All of us, as Ghanaians, have a duty also to protect the ballot and so on. But you see, the security services like the police, and then in extreme cases, very extreme cases, the armed forces, have also a constitutional responsibility which must not be in conflict with the duties of the citizen. How we work this architecture is very difficult, and I'm not so sure that we've been able to work it properly as we speak. Now, what are we getting? You're getting videos on social media of hoodlums, clear hoodlums, making threats all the time. Hoodlums, complete hoodlums, useless elements and so on, making threats all the time. And unfortunately for us, some of these persons happen to be very senior officials of political parties. It worries me. And I saw one the other day on a video actually saying that, if you kill 2, kill 20. How irresponsible can you be? How irresponsible can you be? And this guy is walking about. Nothing has happened to him. Nobody has invited him for questioning. But I hear that smaller people who make statements which are even less, weighty, have been prosecuted and convicted. What about the party leaders? You understand? And then, Randy, when somebody who is a lawyer, and who plays a role in the communications team of a party, sits on set and says that, look, when it comes to voting, we know that we'll be outvoted. We'll be outvoted. But we have dwarfs who will change the results in our favor. Mutia. What is that person talking about? What that person is doing is making a public confession that there's a machinery for rigging. It's clear, it's in clear language. You understand? It's not, Or when a party official makes a statement to the effect that they have 1 million ways of winning elections, and that winning election is not about who turns out at the polling station and who is casting their ballots. And there are 1 million ways of winning elections and so on. What does that mean? I think we should be interested in all of these things. If we want to ensure free, fair, and transparent elections, we should be interested in all of these things. The other things that we should also be interested in is the fake media which has emerged and which is doing tremendous damage to our politics. And yesterday I was complaining about my particular situation where somebody has set up an X account in my name, And he has not just set up an X account in my name. Over the last 1 year, I've protested to X, I've sent verification notices and so on to X, they've ignored it. And this guy still continues to operate this X account in my name. And
X,
then,
that's in Twitter.
Twitter, yes. And then 2 days ago, I actually saw that he has verified the account and has a blue tag. So it means that this guy actually has gone to pay money. He's gone to pay dollars, in order to keep this scam going. What is in it for him and so on? So yesterday I was complaining about my situation, and the responses I got was mind-boggling. I mean, Sampan,
yes,
the Metropolitan Chief Executive of Kumasi, also told his story. Everybody is telling their story about how some persons or maybe institutions are doing irreparable damage. Yesterday evening, I got sent a video which creates the impression that former President John Dramani Mahama is making some statements, and so on. And this morning, I saw Randy's anger when he read them on the front pages of some newspapers. Clearly, I mean, if you see that video, it is obvious that it is AI generated. Now, all of these people who are doing this are contributing to rigging an election. And if people go to the polls and cast their ballots on the basis of lies, on the basis of AI-generated videos, on the basis of postings which are being made on Twitter, in people's names and so on, it is part of rigging elections. And I'm wondering whether or not our state security apparatus has got the means to trace the perpetrators, to do something about this level of the spread of fake news and so on. So now, even when you hear official announcements from institutions like the Electoral Commission and so on, the first thing you do is say, can it be true? And so on. So even on election day, if situations arise and the police has to notify the public and the Ghana Armed Forces has to notify the public or the Electoral Commission and so on, who is going to believe them? Because the first reaction is that it can be fake. You understand? So I think that this phenomena of the emergence and spread, of fake news is itself a security threat to the elections. And we have only a few days, I think 3 days or so, or 4 days, to the election. But perhaps we can still do something, about what it is. And then all the things that the Election Security Committee is announcing has to do with physical violence and physical threats at polling stations. So what about the cyber threats? Because we do know that in some of the elections, the equipment of the Electoral Commission was jammed. I recall 2016, when the Electoral Commission actually announced that some of their computers had been jammed. So it's not just about physical security, it's not just about, the threat of violence at polling stations and so on. What about the damage which can be done in the cyberspace? What about the possibility of people jamming, the coalition equipment of political parties, of the Electoral Commission itself, and so on? What is it that has been done? Now, over the last 2-3 months, Sergeant Elorga Katapori, and I'm sure all of you know him, and you probably know him as a member of the PNDC. He is no longer a member of the PNDC, which is obvious.
The PNDC is defunct.
Yes, I mean he has become an IT expert, and has been raising several issues about the vulnerability of the Electoral Commission's systems. There is no response. He's actually written petitions to the Electoral Commission. Nothing has happened. He's written to the Data Protection Agency. Nothing has happened, and so on. So why are we not paying attention to the cyberspace? Why are we not paying attention to the vulnerabilities of the IT arrangement for the Electoral Commission and so on? Why are we ignoring that when those can also become sources of rigging, sources of manipulation, sources of disinformation and so on? I don't understand. Maybe it's because I'm a layman. Right. But I hear you have some expertise, so maybe you can help us.
Election security. Right. I think that for me, if you're looking at it from the perspective of making sure that you have an election that after the results are announced, everybody will accept by and large, then it's important that we get these assurances from the security agencies that they are going to do what they are mandated to do. Because he also said something that was quite interesting, and the fact is we have 18 million people who are going to vote. I mean, even if you put together the entire security agencies, I think their number will probably not get up to 100,000. So what it means is that it requires some personal responsibility and then also a certain adherence to the rules and regulations that have been set out by the Electoral Commission. I mean by convention in terms of how we conduct ourselves pre the elections and then even post the election, and coming to the conclusion that regardless of what happens, we have a democracy that needs to be protected. We are the, if you like, the beacon of democracy across the continent. We've had a lot of firsts. I mean, sometimes I think that there's also a certain obsession with highlighting the negatives, but there are a lot of things that we have done right as a democracy. And I think that it's important that we also pat ourselves on the back when we've done the right things. Of course, when there are certain aberrations, it requires that we deal with it. And then history will be almost a way of actually teaching us not to go by those things again. Now, yes, it's very true that in the age of IT and AI and machine learning and all of these things, there are certain things that tends to happen. One, when it comes to issues to do with disinformation and fake news and all of that. And then how it affects and impacts elections. If you recall, I mean, Randy, you remember the whole conversation around Brexit, where it turned out that people were actually being fed information that were actually untrue, and then that actually impacted the final results. And I mean, some of these persons have even actually regretted thinking that they were being fed information that were true, but it turns out that it was to achieve a certain result at the end of the day. So yes, these things happen, but I think that it's also important that the various political parties have the capacity internally to, one, be able to forestall some of these things and also have some kind of rapid response mechanism in place to detect these fake news and then disinformation. Now, you know, sometimes when these conversations happen, then the focus is on the political parties or the political class. But reality is that the media itself have become almost channels for the circulation of some of these fake news. And it's also imperative that they also have a system in place to ensure that some of these things are forestalled immediately, and then they give the viewers and listeners and even people who consume these platforms the opportunity to know that it's not coming from them. One of the things that's happened is that, Randy, for example, somebody would take Metro TV and use your artwork and all sorts of things and actually push or circulate some information out there. And as far as people are concerned, if they don't have an opportunity to actually get either a fake stamp on it or a rebuttal from Metro TV, as far as they're concerned, it's coming from Metro TV. So I think that's a collective responsibility of all of us, stakeholders within this space, to find ways to forestall some of these challenges. As to if the state has the capacity to stem this thing, I think that, even the very developed or advanced countries when it comes to technology are still battling with some of these challenges, especially when it comes to how big some of these tech companies have become and a certain level of inertia or even a lack of responsibility to deal with challenges when it comes to this. We have things like cyberbullying and all of these things that have become a menace across the globe. So yes, I think that we have to develop the capacity locally to be able to deal with some of these things. We believe strongly as a political, like you asked me, where have I been? I've been to 276 constituencies. And the discussions are totally different from sometimes some of the conversations, for example, that we have in Accra. And like we say, all politics is local. And so I believe that regardless of what the machinations or a certain accusation of certain people trying to manipulate or rig the elections, the reality on the ground is that the Ghanaian people are poised to make a decision. That decision is to vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to become the next president of this country. As to the shenanigans and the propaganda and what, pertains within these last few days of election, it happens. I'm not going to sit here and play ignorant or, play ostrich that, political parties do not find ways to push out information and all of that. But that is not the stock in trade of the NPP. Because we are focused to ensure that the Ghanaian people would listen to our side of the story, will get to firsthand hear the vision of the flag bearer and be able to make an informed decision. We have run a campaign, as far as I'm concerned, that has never been run in this country before. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, in all the 276 constituencies that he's visited, had an opportunity to engage stakeholders, imams, pastors, traditional rulers, business persons, all of this within a certain framework to be able to articulate his vision for this country before he even goes out and does the organic stuff like meeting people in their various workplaces, markets, schools, and all sorts of environments before he even does a community connect. So which means that we are focused on getting the message out to the Ghanaian people rather than relying on all sorts of other things that, as far as I'm concerned, it's not a stock in trade. The reality is that election is a couple of days away, and we are poised to win. I would be hounded if I don't mention names of two gentlemen, friends that I was on the campaign with, George Kwarteng and Richard Jamfi. They've asked that I mention their name on Metro TV. They've been fantastic and they've done an exemplary job. And so, for me, I think that we're just waiting for the day to come. Tomorrow, for example, will be our final rally. We're entreating all the party persons to be present and those who can make it to the University of Ghana Sports Directorate for us to be able to crown the campaign. And of course, I'm believing that we'll be able to emerge victorious.
All right. So Mr. Martin A.B.K. Amidu, the first special prosecutor in this republic and an appointee of President Akufo-Addo, we know that he's left his position. Now, he has written his final epistle, and like I said, in this country, anytime Mr. Martin Amidu released one, we had a full analysis of his statements. And he can write quite well. And so he has this one which says why Martin Amidu cannot support Mahmoud Bawumia's candidature at the 2024 elections. And he has a quote from Geoffrey Chaucer's Canterbury Tales. And it says, if gold rust, what then will iron do? For if a priest be foul in whom we trust, no wonder that a common man should rust. And it's quite lengthy. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 38 paragraphs. So the statement has 38 paragraphs, and it's out there. We can even put it on our site, so you can go there and read. However, his conclusions are in the last 2 paragraphs. And, if my producers can just put that up. So all what he writes in the preceding 38 paragraphs are summed up in paragraph 2. But of course, the preceding 36 will then give you the basis for his conclusions. So this is how he concludes in the last 2 paragraphs. And please put it up there for our viewers to also read. It says, Ghana needs a president from one of the 2 dominant political parties who can audit the economic mess the Nana Akufo-Addo, Bawumia, inept government is going to leave behind. Ghana needs a president from one of the 2 dominant political parties who can audit the economic mess the Nana Akufo-Addo, Bawumia, inept government is going to leave behind. I have demonstrated herein before that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is a clone and poodle of the incumbent president and is incapable of doing such an audit. With Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, it is the same old wine in a new bottle. We may as well put lipstick on a pig, as the saying goes. John Dramani Mahama is not a saint, but he is nobody's poodle. He has the experience as a former president to audit the mess that Nana Akufo-Addo Bawumia government will leave behind. I have had problems with John Dramani Mahama in the past, which are documented on my website. The constitutional situation on our hands, however, demands pragmatism to ensure probity and accountability after an 8-year tenure of government. We need a candidate who can command a sizable parliamentary representation to actualize an audit of the previous government. John Dramani Mahama, whose audit Nana Akufo-Addo fears, ought to be the best bet for the integrity of the 1992 Constitution in our present circumstances. The 1992 Constitution does not enshrine dynasty or inheritance by chronism. That is why the electorate should aim for a change in government on 7 December 2024 to defend and preserve the Constitution of our 4th Republic. Ghana must always come first. Martin A.B.K. Amidu, 3rd December 2024. Eric.
I mean, without being personal, I have a lot of challenges with this particular session. And for me, I think there's a personal view. Mr. Amidu has a vote. He has a voice. I have a vote. I have a voice. I believe strongly that Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia is nobody's poodle. He has stated clearly his vision for this country going forward. He has demonstrated in the last 8 years in his tenure as Vice President in terms of what he stands for. He believes strongly that this country has the potential and is on the cusp of something tremendous. And I believe that he's been able to articulate that particular vision. He has been able to demonstrate that by his tenure as Vice President. The Ghanaian people have been able to attest to that particular fact. Trying to sort of get into this whole fiasco of red herrings and making attributions and everything, it's not something that is going to stick. Because if you're going by Mr. Amidu's assertion and analogy, former President Mahama has been president before. And as being president before, he's still going around the country telling the Ghanaian people that he's going to do something different from what he did as vice president, as also president, trying to finish the term of President Mills, and then also his own tenure as president. So if you're going by that analogy, then it actually flies in the face of logic. And so how come that somebody who's a vice president, and he's even quoting the Constitution, he knows clearly what it states and what a vice president can do, is now making an assertion of a poodle. Yet somebody who has been president before is going around the country saying that he's coming to do something totally different. I believe strongly that yes, there's a certain level of decision making, I mean, things that people take into account into voting a president. And if you're trying to do an audit, it's probably one of them. But young people in this country are extremely excited. Parents are excited that 5.7 million young people have had an opportunity to go through second cycle education. Some of them are even gone through the tertiary levels and actually contributing their quota to the development of this country. You have a government that has demonstrated that it's committed to healthcare delivery across the country by building 111 Agenda 111 hospitals. A government that believes that it's important that we focus on STEM and TVET education and has built modeled institutions across the country to ensure that we take advantage of a new industrial revolution using digital technology, AI, machine learning, and all that. A government that says that, yes, I want to create 1 million jobs by training young people in digital skills to be able to take advantage of what's going on in the global stage. So for me, Martin Amidu's assertion as an individual should be respected, but it is not sacred. Right, and based on the fact that over the period he has actually shown a lot of inconsistency and a certain lack of principle when it comes to some of these decisions, I don't think anybody will take him seriously. But that's what I'm saying. That's what
he has not demonstrated principle.
But based on his flip-flop on certain positions over the period. I mean, so if he says, for example, that he's had issues with former President Mahama in the past, and now he's now making a certain call that because of ABC he feels. I mean, for me, I think that it's not principle. It's principle. All I'm saying is that he has every right to prefer an opinion, to have a certain opinion on what should happen, what the Ghanaian people should do. In any case, he's a founding member of PNDC, NDC. This is his DNA, and so it's nothing strange.
Right. Okay. Crazy?
Eric, how can you say what you have said? The man had this DNA you refer to way back, and yet everything he wrote was gospel for your party. And your party actually, hold on. Please. Your party actually went on and made him special prosecutor. And the statements which were made then was that his integrity could not be assailed. Now, all of a sudden...
That's what President Kufuor said.
Exactly. Now, all of a sudden, his DNA is a problem. That DNA existed at the time they were talking about his integrity being unassailable. You know, I mean, I agree with you that he's an individual, you know, and his views do not represent the millions of people who are going to cast their votes, you know, on Saturday. That's a fact. You can make that claim. It's a fact. But then, there are his views. And they're as weighty as you made them some time ago. You understand? And Eric, please, this thing about free SHS and so on. All these 5-point-something million people you're talking about, they're walking about without skills and without jobs. What is the value of education if you come out of it and you don't have skills and you don't have jobs? Please.
You can't make a statement like that in that blanket.
There are so many SHS people who are working, who have gone through the system.
In every economy, even the first class economies, I mean, the biggest economy in the world, would have people who are walking around without jobs.
Eric, please.
And so you cannot use that to discount a whole public policy that has immense benefit for young people across the country.
Wait for you to make your point. Okay. Please have the patience for me to make my point.
I'm patient. I'm sorry.
You know as a fact that many of these graduates of this SHS program are walking around without skills and without jobs. That free education has actually not transformed them into anything useful for society and so on. You know that as a fact. And then constant references to Agenda 111 hospital. Why are they? You build 111 hospitals? Yeah, it's okay to dream. I mean, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with dreaming, but keep it at the level of dreams. Don't make the dreams look like reality when they are not reality. They are dreams, pipe dreams, as a matter of fact. You understand? Now, this election, all of us are going to go and cast our ballots and so on. For me, the most important thing in this election is that whoever wins must be the true and genuine choice of our people. If at the end of the day, the people of Ghana actually choose somebody whose major project is to take the sea from Jamestown to Kumasi as their presidential candidate, he will be the choice of the people of Ghana. You understand? If at the end of the day, the people choose somebody who is inaugurating e-gates and the gates will not open and so on as their president, he will be the choice of the people of Ghana. If at the end of the day, the people choose, they want a woman as president, they choose a woman as president whose biggest promise is that we'll be swearing oath with water bought by poor people, fine. Who am I to complain? That will be the choice that the people make. You understand? But I think that people like Mr. Martin Amidu, like yourself, like me, like Randy, and so on, should be given the space to make our choices. And even to make those choices public. You understand? And what is written is very clear. I mean, I don't vote on the basis of what Mr. Martin Amidu tells me to do. I don't. And I know that there are many Ghanaians who will not just follow him. But those of you who turned him into a god, please keep worshiping him.
All right, that will be it. That will be for this morning's edition of Good Morning Ghana. Gentlemen, thanks for joining me. And thanks for watching. Up next, Metro Sport.
Here's Kwame and Yao. After hours of planning, both have locked in the same perfect multi-bet.